So today's Wednesday, and again, it means that I had lunch with my mom today, and we went to the bookstore and we got our next book for the book club because we have a book club every week. And but we also got some books on autism for both, well, mostly for Ellie, for my niece, but also kind of for me. And again, near the end of the visit, we started talking about my childhood and how my mom could probably give Heather a lot of help and use my childhood as a primer. And she got into a bit of a defensive stance, which I understood, because she said back then we just didn't know. We didn't recognize it. And I got you tested for ADHD, and that's what they told me. And I'm like, Mom, dude. She gets mad at me when I call her dude, but I did on purpose. But she didn't get mad at me this time. I said, Mom, it's okay. I get it. You didn't know any better back then. Nobody did. That's why it's so much better now, but it's also why so many adults my age and like higher and lower who also have had similar experiences, who are also finding themselves on the spectrum as adults, we all share the same story, and our parents unfortunately suffered the same consequences. So it's not my mother's fault. It's nobody's parents' fault. It's just the fact that we weren't educated back then. We treated it differently. And again, my mom used the example of severe stage about how, quote, for us it was kids in catatonic states, end quote. And I get that too, because in media it was like that as well. And by the end of the visit, it was pretty sure that, like, my mom agreed, and like, you are definitely autistic. She's like, probably on the lower stage. I'm like, 100%, yeah. Because like, there's so many things from my childhood that I could give as examples, as like complete and utter autistic things that I did as a child that can only be explained. Sorry, that was my phone. Can only be explained as me being autistic. And I don't blame her. I never will. It's not her fault. She tried her best. She was a fucking single mom raising 3 kids on her goddamn own, especially since her second husband turned out to be a trash bag in disguise, a money-soaking trash bag in disguise. So no, I will never blame my mother for that. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. It just was the circumstances of the time, just like we're learning more and more about gender identities. And ironically, one of the books that we got to learn about autism was by a queer, non-binary, autistic author. And we didn't know this until we got home. I'm like, Mom, you knew deep down, didn't you? Because she has just not been accepting of me being an NB. But maybe now. We'll see.